Okay, can anyone see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay. All right. So today, emGuarde change your environment, change your life. All right. So I'm your presenter today because Simon Law is not available today. Okay. I'm not talk about the 20 years, probably 40 years ago. Right. So this is our gadget when I was young lah. So probably some of y'all understand about this. Let me see this screen. Can hide. All right. Okay, so we all play about this game is without any devices or gadget. Oh, so sorry. A bit of a technical issue. Okay, so 40 years ago, we all play around this without any electronics devices like football, rubber, instead of all using your handmade game, right? So today, all our young children, even my children also, they all play with the electronics gadgets, like iPad, phone, laptop, and so on. So this is the trend. We cannot run away. So sometime when we let them to play for a while, and we take back, they were actually not so happy with that because they still used to communicate or even play. This is their world now, right? So even present our parents, our grandma, grandpa, our elderly also playing with, uh, holding the phone because they would like to communicate. Even at work, we also having a lot of PC, even a laptop together while we are working because you would like to do the presentation work, to show, to have a meeting and so on. So communication is a must, and without gadget cannot, in this world, right? Unless you move into the jungle and stay there. And this is a must, and it will is actually live it long in our life now, right? So talk about pollution. So we know about water pollution, air pollution, and noise pollution, right? So the comings along in the future is electromagnetic radiation pollution. So this is the topic today I'm going to share to help you all understand about the electromagnetics, right? For those who are actually new, and for those who are know about this, then you can learn more about what is the electromagnetic radiation, what is so harmful, and it will cause, how so dizzy and probably headaches, comes along, right? So what is the difference between electromagnetic radiation pollution with the others pollution, right? So we know we can't see the electromagnetics, we can't see, we can't smell, even we can't touch. It's every way, right? Even you don't like it, you turn it off. Any gadget in your house, but the neighbor also will emit this kind of electromagnetic waves into your room, your house, your kitchen, right? So what is the radiation spectrum we are cover for today's topic? You know, everybody talk about radiation, right? So we all know, and when I talk to the number of person, right? So we all know about radiation, right? Okay, so in the chat box, can you guys type you as a five, you know radiation, but which spectrum are we cover? Can you type five, you know, from the chat box? All right. So actually we cover the spectrum is actually non-ionizing. This is a radiation spectrum we cover. Most of non-ionizing is in our household, especially all the electrical appliances in our house. But we are not cover the ionizing, which is X-ray, gamma ray, or ultraviolet, because this ionizing require more energy, right? You can see the wavelength is actually quite, you know, rapid and compared to the non-ionizing. This is we are cover for today's topic, how to, you know, cover this radiation in the non-ionizing, under non-ionizing radiation. All right, so where is the source coming from, right? The source is actually the EM radiation sources is all in our household, right? So you like it or not, like phone, iPad, computer, all the microwave, DB board, LED light, is all in our household. I do believe everyone in their house at least got five of them or more, right? This is nature now is already in our community, right? So how can we detect, how do we detect the EM radiation, right? So electromagnetic radiation, how do we detect? We have to using the radiation detectors, RD9100. Or recently they come up with a new model called RD9300. So I'm still, because I'm using the RD9100. So the range for this unit of a measurement is actually from range of 1 microcm per square to 1999. If you are holding the RD9300, it can up to 3999. So you can see more clearer about the gadget, especially the phone can up to 2800 microwatt cm per square. That's how the measure range, you know, between this radiation detector over the screen. If we see over the 1999, it will show in on the this display screen 1. So meaning it's actually overloaded. So basically, this is the only so-called detector in the market can measure the electromagnetic radiation. They are measured in the power density of the electromagnetic radiation. Some might ask me, hey, Alex, the market got inside the Lazada or Shopee, so also can detect the radiation. All right. So we have to understand and ask them what kind of radiation you are talking about. So we all mentioned about EMR, right? Electromagnetics. So in the market, there's a three type, quite frequent, if you can see from the Lazada or Shopee. The first one is for the signal frequency, which is our signal from the phone 5G, and those is to detect the signals, right? And some second one is actually detect these electrical field, right? When there's a power, they will have a number show from the devices or the detector. And the third one is mostly for the metal element. So you have to understand from the markets. So those is actually more specific on the signal electrical field and also the metal element. But compared to the radiation detector RD9100 is more specific on the electromagnetics, the power density of that, based on the microwatt centimeter per square. So very close range, we can detect whether the gadget got any emitted the electromagnetics, right? So today we stay in our house, we get bombarded by this so-called the EM source, right? The radiation source. As I mentioned, more than 5. Even now I'm talking to you, sitting in front of my laptop. Beside, I have a handphone with me, and I have an LED light in the room. So let's say when I'm using the RD 9100 or 9300 to detect any of this gadget, if it show 0 to 200 microwatt centimeter per square, it's still considered green zone, still acceptable. It's still fine, right? So how about from those like 1,000 to the 1,500 or more microwatt centimeter per square? So we classify or put it as an extremely dangerous zone. If you have a RD 9300, you can see 3,999 until 3,999. So we more focusing on this symptom of exposing yourself from yellow zone to red zone for the long hour. So for example, long hour means when you listen to the phone and put it on your ear for 10 minutes, we will feel like, so warm in your ear, and your hand also a bit numbness. So this is a so-called long hour. Long hour, maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes, talk over the phone. I'm talking about long hour plus the long run, probably 5 years, 10 years down the road. So if you 5 years continuous doing the same practice, all right, even charging your phone just beside while you sleep, it probably you could have a symptom like fatigue, body pain, and sleeping problem. Yeah. And some actually stress, headaches and immune system problem as well. So this is a so-called being affected by the electromagnetic radiation, apart from the others, sources. Probably because some actually being see the doctors and see the TCM and nothing happened. So it could be because of the electromagnetic radiation, right? The worst could be cancerous in your body because of the electromagnetics bombarded by the electromagnetics. So this is how we can detect using the RD9100. So I just show you one of my customer when I using this RD9100 with the microwave. The microwave itself not yet even start cook or even start to cook. It just turn on. You imagine you can see the number goes to almost 1,000 over, not even touching just 1 feet or 2 feet away, right? So imagine this microwave when they turn it on. But if you are sleeping beside, you are the neighbor actually having this microwave, and you're sleeping beside day and night. Right? So other than that, how these detectors been detects, some is actually showing in the induction cookers, where we detected about 2,000 microwatt or more than, is a 1, showing 1, right? Even our DB board, our handphone, LED light also, right? So before we turn on our emGuarde, right? So this is how we detect using the RD9100. It's more than 1. It's overloaded. Among this is in our house. So imagine we not only these 4, but we have more. Right? How this EMR travel into our body, right? that is a video being shown, and even we live doing the live demo, we will show you. And when you using the phone, yeah, definitely it being detected by the RD9100. But a lot of people will say, I'm just holding a phone, but I don't want to hold the phone, but I just leave it there. Is this can it will not actually travel. But the thing is, this EMR is a negative effect of the noise traveling through the noise. The noise itself actually will travel through into our body. That's how when our young kids, you ask them to play the phone, but without a sound. Is that correct? No, right? So they have to listen, like even we listen to the YouTube itself, it's still a sound. So the high frequency of the negative effect of the electromagnetics is through the noise. That's how it travels to our body. But when it travels into our body, we feel numbness and lingering. That is another, later I will explain about how it affect our health. Right? So Federal Communication Commission is already put in the OET bulletin 65. So in this bulletin itself, the page number 8, basically FCC already mentioned the human body absorb the RF energy at a frequency more efficient than at others. It happens in the frequency range of 30 to 300. So we have to understand, because our human body is like a sponge. So we absorb anything, right? So especially electromagnetics. So if we happen in the 30 to 300 megahertz, so our human is very effective to absorb it, it happened in the 30 to 300, right? And this absorption will be caused more destructive into our body. And this is more restricted from the FCC, about 30 to 300 megahertz, right? And why I say our body is like a sponge, because our body also have the frequency, right? So for example, the aggregate frequency of our body organs, they actually start from 58 to 90 megahertz. So this is the body or the organs of frequency. From our brain itself, frequency is 72 to 90. So later I will show you how this will be affected from our electrical appliances from our houses, how it can affect to our brain frequency. Is actually through the resonance, right? So when you see the resonance itself from 512 hertz to the 440 to try to vibrate or the ping pong ball, it is not possible because it's a different hertz. While we are using the 440, it is able to vibrate the ping pong ball, right? So the vibration itself, we call it resonance. So this is how our body, like what mentioned, is a sponge, can absorb the frequency from the outside, especially our gadget, our devices or electrical appliances from our household, right? It just absorb it into our brain. You will feel headaches or feel like dizziness, for that moment when you enter into that area or the location. So because of the resonance, it actually vibrate the brain, your brain. That's how it happens, right? So this is one of the video I try to play, and yeah. So this is one of our developer, David Chang, went to the Airbnb, and while he entered to the kitchen itself, right, he feel headache, right? And for some person, okay, but for some reason, for some person cannot take it because of this so-called resonance. He tried to using this so-called software-defined radio detectors, right? to detect the 72 megahertz. So this video is to show you how it actually can resonate and vibrate, using our SDR software to detect the 72. And the 72 actually equivalent to our brain frequency. That's why he feel headaches, right? So you see, when you turn on the first LED light, right? So, wow. So there's a blue wave coming. This is a so-called 72 megahertz. It just actually just ngam in time, to vibrate to our brain frequency. When you being tuned, we call it resonant. You vibrate so that you can have some headaches, symptoms, and you couldn't take it. So that's how this LED light emitted. It is electromagnetics in 72 megahertz. All right. So that's how the vibration happens when the same frequency into our body. During this, we also have some documentation. So documentation beat the conversation. And okay, for this documentation, WHO, IARC is already mentioned a number of years ago. You see, in the press release, 2011 May 31st, is IARC already classified radio frequency electromagnetic field as a possibly carcinogenic to human, right? Wow, possibly carcinogenic. So it classified under group 2B, right? So it will increase the risk for the glioma, the malignant type of brain cancer. So just like I mentioned, imagine we are using wireless phone, right? In our, just beside our right hand side, your ear, just very close to our brain. It's possible. So this is the so-called 2B RF EMF. Before that, everyone know, right, about tobacco. Tobacco used to be classified under group 2B. Today, tobacco, after 50 years or number of years, is already being sure tobacco smoke cause carcinogenic to human in under group 1, serious. Right? So is anyone holding iPhone? So even Android also have that. You have to find out where to disclaimer, about disclaimer. This is setting how to go to the phone general rigor and regulatory and the RF exposure. In the iPhone, it's already mentioned, even 13, 14, even recent the 15 also, disclaimer from the Apple itself, the specific absorption rate, right? So in order to avoid this specific absorption rate to our body, absorb the RF energy, he asked us to reduce the exposure to RF energy, use hand-free, such as built-in speaker and headphone and other similar accessory, if possible. But most of the time, we pick up the phone from our boss, from our wife, you will straight away put into next to your left brain or right brain. This is how, we talk over the phone, right? And do you know recently, I think last month, France actually banned the iPhone 12 because of the specific absorption rate is overrated, right? So it's actually harmful to our body. They will ban 12, but 13, 14, 15, we don't know yet, right? So this is a so-called specific absorption rate. Why this France country banned the iPhone 12, because the specific absorption rate is overloaded, right? Based on the biological medical aspect of the electromagnetic field, right? If you study this book, in the page of, I think, 3.14, it mentioned human whole body resonance happens in 60 to 80 megahertz, which is quite close to our organs, right? When you see this table 3.3, right? The frequency in the highlighted yellow, 60 megahertz to 100 megahertz, the absorption rate, the average is actually 10, 16, and 12. This is how our, as I mentioned, our body is like sponge, very easy to absorb. That is the highest, 10 watt per meter square. And compared to the 1 gig, 2 gig, or 5 gig, you see 125G, right? Is flat at the 2.5, right? You know why? Because our body have our skin even have a mechanism to defend any above the 100 meg. Yep, as I say, because of our organ, our whole body is 58 to 90 megahertz. This is our organs and our body's frequency, right? So above is all being rejected, right? Okay, coming from other documentation, probably some of the distributors here, you know about the Killing Cancer Not paper. So in the page 94 and 95, also mentioned about, this book also quite seen, 13 years ago until today, is still getting the same book. It's already mentioned about EMF, collar phone or cell phone, smart meter, computer, Wi-Fi, the connection to autism, right? So autism, based on the day Dr. Juliana showed us, wow, the top 10 country, yeah, some UK, some Singapore, some Brunei also in the top 10, based on the data, the statistics. Wow, quite scary about autism, right? Alzheimer, obesity, MS, and allergic cancer, and others. And some, like, it could also decrease the immune function and cancer, right? So this is earlier I talked about how EMF we can detect, and this is the how this EMF harmful to our body and why body can be absorbed. And once you absorb, we will have some hypoxia situation. Why I say so? The Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Otto Warburg, acidosis is like kangen water, we have the alkalinity and the acidity, right, to balance out. And the hypoxia also, that's a lack of oxygen for 48 hours is like cancer, it become cancer. Why? Okay, so because the coming I'll show you the emGuarde is all based on the Dr. McDuck Harvard's PhD research, based on her research to come up with the emGuarde harmonizer, right? So she is a Canadian researcher and professor, and he teaching of the environment and health effect of electromagnetic pollution and electro smoke. So he focus on the biological effect of electromagnetic radiation. How? So based on her study, research, our healthy our body, the healthy red blood cell is actually buoyant with like ping pong ball, right? And because of needed, we need to have a phone and a computer, right? So most of the time, as I say, when your boss call you or wife call you, in the 10 minutes time, you can see from the screen, blood is all stacking. So this is called rouleau formation. And while I'm, talking to you in a 1 hour time, right, in the Zoom, or in our children having the class Zoom for 1-2 hour for tuition and so on, their live blood cell is like rouleau formation. This is just now mentioned by the Dr. Otto Warburg about the hypoxia situation. Hypoxia means a lack of oxygen. So they are all stacking together, right? So this will have some consequences like poor circulation, right? Because it's stacking, right? And low oxygen, because you're stacking, the oxygen cannot be transferred through the body. Cancerous again will happen in this. And as I say, you listen to the phone for 10 minutes and your finger will feel like numbness, tingly, yet difficult to concentrate, headache. This is a part of that. So the researchers, the emGuarde is based on this research. So another research from this so-called Dr. Riranje, the eye specialist ophthalmology, and because of why he's having the dry eye disease, with the emGuarde, he actually recover, right? And he is not so satisfied and doing his own due diligence using the 10 this patient, the volunteer, the healthier from 19 to 68 years old to test this so-called emGuarde. Yep. So how he tests? He basically using the microscope to check the artery, the blood flow from the eyes itself, right? So from the eye itself, he actually checked the so-called PSV, the peak systolic velocity. So in the first stage, right, 10% average is about 20.1. So this is a bit sound technical. If you will not understand, it's just to prove how the microcirculation blood flow only, how before emGuarde and after emGuarde. So this is the first stage, is the before. It's about 20.1 plus minus, that's the speed of the artery in the eyeball, right? The blood flow. And the second stage, you ask the 10% to play around with the phone for 30 minutes. It dropped to 16.2. This is how the rouleau formation, just now being mentioned by Dr. Magda Howard, right? Is already stacking together. But when turn on the EM, the remove EM radiation, which is emGuarde, below 1 gig, 25.9, it shoot up. The peak systolic velocity speed up. So that's how, your live blood from the rouleau formation. But when you turn on the emGuarde, it become live, the red blood cell live blood healthy again. Right. So solution, environment harmonizer, emGuarde. So emGuarde is actually the patented technology. It covers 4 meter radius, 8 meters diameter. It's like surface, right? Left, right, front, back, up, down, all 4 meter. It also depends on location. If your location is wide enough, it can cover up to 5, right? And harmonizing medium and high frequency ranging up to 1 gig, which is a 3 megahertz to 1 gig. That's how emGuarde harmonize or neutralize the electromagnetic 3 meg to 1 gigahertz USB Type-C, and it's about 0.5 watt, 430 gram. This is a emGuarde. And emGuarde itself, there's a lot of credential for emGuarde. It's not 3 months when we launch the products. It's not the 3 months in the market or even 1 year. It has been marketed for almost 13 years. Right. So you see, from the ITEX itself, International Invention Innovation Technology Exhibition in 2010, it can able to reduce the computer radiation in 2010. And then 2016, ICANN, right, the Canada competition awarded the gold medal to reduce electromagnetic radiation from electrical appliances, almost like all our households, having those electrical appliances. And next is actually the IIIC 2017 gold medal also for remote distance able to speed up the microcirculation blood flow. That's how Dr. Ruenje, the eye specialist, that is a cert, to cover about how it can help to speed up the microcirculation blood flow. Right, this is the typical harmonizing the typical radiation resources. There is a like wavelength all the way into our brain or body as being absorbed. So how emGuarde does was they analyze first, and within the coverage area, like say 4 meter radius, right? Then once it's analyzed, it will send out the signal, the reverse signal to elevate the wavelength, right? They cancel it and the frequency from 3 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, which is 1000 megahertz. So this is the before and this is the after. So it's like imagine you wanted to go to the one destination with a highway. You will chop it up. You are not able to travel into to your destination. So from the not only from the chart itself, we also show you their testing in the lab. This is the lab report. That's why they have a patented, technology. This is a part of the wavelength from 30 meg to 1 gigahertz. The wavelength is actually from continuous without stop. And then after you turn on the emGuarde harmonizer, it able to elevate it. We call it neutralize, into the single pole, right? So this is how I turn on the emGuarde, and the microwave no longer beeping anymore, even though it's still internal, right? So this is how amazing emGuarde when they turn on with the range of 3 meg to 1 gigahertz. Then it actually covered up the FCC requirement, 30 meg to 300 megahertz. It also cover our body organs frequency, 58 to 90. Once you turn it on, you see, before turn on, after turn on, totally from the this RD detector is show 000, right? Induction cooker, your TV board, everything in your house is being covered to show 00. All right, some of the patented statement also talk about the microcirculation blood flow. So they're using the blood flow measurement device, and this is part of a patented paper. And before that, it's actually measured in their blood flow. It's about 6 microcirculation blood flow is about 6.13 cm per second. And then after it playing around with the phone for 30 minutes, it dropped to 2.55 cm per second. And when you turn on the emGuarde with the apparatus, is about shoot up to even higher than the early before you play around with the phone, 26.6 cm per second. Right? So this is the patented. It can effectively suppress the negative effect of electromagnetic radiation, the noise on microcirculation from either handheld cellular device or computer connect to wireless network. So that's how the being patented in Malaysia. This is a MYIPO, Harter Intellect Malaysia, right? This is how the emGuarde function and benefit, right? So because it's patented and export from the Malaysia, we have a right to put it into the matrix, which is our trade center for export product, especially the innovative products. This is to show you how this is being into our metric. Right, you see the emGuarde is here under innovative product. All right, some of the I want to show you about this how high electrical field environment also emitted this we call escape from the high voltage. Some of the electromagnetics coming into your house if you are stay nearby here. Yeah. So from the outside itself, we already detected the electromagnetics or the microwave from this cm per square from this RD19100.
Is where the high tension cable is not behind the ring.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there.
So this is one of the story from developer when he was young 5 years ago. His mother actually died in the
between 1,800
leukemia.
2,000
And from this photo itself, you can see this high electrical field, the so-called power density of electromagnetics is overloaded, just direct straight away to the doorstep. Imagine you are inside sleep 24/7, Yep. So that's how it happens. All right. So that's all for the emGuarde Environment Harmonizer presentation for the first part, right? So is there any question so far? Right, before I jump into the second part, which is the business plan for newbie who would like to know how, Energic share this, how to leveraging the business. Yep. So any questions so far about the emGuarde harmonizer, how it detects by the RD9100 and how it affect our health, and as well as how it harmonizes and neutralize all the electromagnetic field, especially our house, to protect our young children, our parents. Yep. And with the microcirculations blood flow, I do believe most people who actually been using this emGuarde at house until now, they have enjoyed the better sleep, which is called rapid eye movement sleep. Achieve, better sleep, especially for the elderly people, right? You can have one and try it out. So that's how, because electromagnetic radiation being elevated, cancelling, and you improve the microcirculation blood flow, therefore, you will have the REM sleep. That is how you can achieve that. Right? Is that good? Right? Okay. So if you get the values, please type 1. Thank you, Eunice. Yep. You can put some question over here. Let me check the first question from YY Cheng. Do you recommend more brand model of power bank to go with emGuarde while on the move? Yes, because it's using the USB Type-C, you can use the either power bank, travel, or in your car, there is a USB port. You can just insert in or plug in after you start your car, right? You can travel with your car, or you can have a power bank. But from the power bank brand or model, I can't say that is in the market. But what I know in the market, there is a kind of a power bank. Reason the latest model is a bit of high-tech, high advanced, because why? Once you charge your phone full, it will actually chop off the charger, right? So this kind of a power bank is not suitable for the emGuarde, because emGuarde is not without the battery. So that this power bank will detect this emGuarde as a full in power, so it will not able to power up. So in this market, at the moment, those power bank, you have to find out those power bank in the old generation, whereby it doesn't matter you are in the power battery mode or without, right? It will still charge. So those are power bank were able to. All right. Okay. So without further ado, then I start with the marketing. Okay, so for leveraging your business, this emGuarde actually is selling price for the retail price is about 6620 RM 6,620 ringgit. So if you want to pay cash, you can able to. If you're not, you can have an installment plan up to 24 months. Right? So which is about 276 per month for 2 years. You imagine the 2 years time. Yep, 2 years time, one day is roughly about 10 ringgit. right? So today we drink about one coffee, the branded one, right? It's almost more than 10 ringgit. So 10 ringgit could protect your family. Another layer of a protection, right? So it's worth it. And imagine this can use up to 5 years to 10 years. If we say 10 years, only 2 ringgit per day for to cover your or protect your family, right? Okay, so single payment credit card up to 24 months. For Malaysia, we can have a lot of multiple of our credit cards or bank credit card can be used. E-payment is a 6 months to 12 months. And yep, so for leveraging or to get the commission from okay, so we are the direct selling companies. We direct from the manufacturer. So today you have the direct sell, you sell to your friend or you share to your friend, right? Or colleagues. So we call it direct. Company will pay you the commission. So by the way, this commission will pay you in 14 days, right? No less, no more, right? And also you can have a group of, so normally we say you want to do the business, you want to do just only from yourself or from the team. You want to do the team, of course, when you sell to the person or your friend also try to recommend or sharing to their friend, right? So company will have you a commission as well from your friend who recommend to the friend, right? So we call it indirect sales, right? This is overridings. So in here, apart from the direct commission from the friend you sold or you share to them, but company also pay you the overriding. Is that good, right? So we want to do the business with the team instead of yourself alone, right? So we need to do leveraging by not only direct selling but indirect as well. So direct plus indirect selling is a group sales, right? So fantastic, isn't it? So you have a commission paid by Energy, and your friend doing Energy also pay you some overriding commission. So there's a so-called group sales. Okay, so company actually every machine we have 8 points, right? Today we'll talk about 8 point system, and actually company have a lot of commission like title bonus, the when you hit the range like 682, dash 3 and so on, and the staff bonus. So today we're not talking about those commission or the bonuses. We're only talking about the 8 point commission. So 8 point commission means one machine they hold about 8 pieces of the commission. It's actually being sharing among with the team, which is yourself, probably your downline, your upline. Yeah, it depends on which rank are you in, right? So because our company is a direct selling, we skip a lot of so-called wholesaler, retailer advertisement. You would see those in the market, right? So those expenses is being saved and then paid to you and I and the team. So how it works, 2,400 divided by 8 pieces, which is every pieces or 1A is actually equivalent to 300. So if you imagine in some USD, they ask how much, divide by 4.5 is about 60 over USD per point if you are from different country, right? This is a RM, right? So based on the chart itself, when you start your business, you share to your baby sibling, your relative. For the first 2 machine, we rank you as a first A agent, right? So each machine you sold or to share to them is about 300, right? For first 2 machine, direct sales. Then once you having the third machine onward, company will pay you 600 ringgit per machine. you will be ranking as a 2A agent or 2A distributor up to 10 machine. Every machine you got 600 ringgit, right? Then you accumulated to the 11, right? 10, then 11 start. You will get 900 each commission from the emGuarde. You were ranking as a 3A. If you are so 10, then the 11, you are the 3A agent up to 20. 11 to 20, each machine will get 900. So then from the 21 onwards, after accumulated, you become a 4A agent. So 21 unit sales until each one you get 1,200 per machine until 50. So 51 onwards, company will rank you as a 5A. Each machine 51 until 200, you will get 1,500 per machine, right? So 6A is 1,800. 6A times 300, right? 1A, 1 point, right? Is 1,800 until 200. All right. So that is a ranking and the commission being paid out. And how it works from the chart itself, right? So imagine you bought an emGuarde, you, right? Okay, first person you introduce is Tom. Tom is in your 1A, right? The first machine, you got a 300 ringgit from Tom. And Alex comes along, you sold the emGuarde to him, you got the 300 as well, right? So Rose is your 2A because the third machine, right? So you got the 600, 2 point times 300 is the 600 commission to you. Direct sales, right? But Tom so excited in going to introduce to Grace. And then Grace also bought one. And you also got commission, as I mentioned already, to you, right? So another 300 to you from Grace. Or those Grace, it could be your friend, it could be not your friend, right? Then Grace to Polly, Arthur, and so on, all the way down. Company will pay you 300 each machine, the commission. Then later Kim's comes along, is still under 2A because it's not yet in the 10 unit, right? Then Kim so excited and go and share to the Ali, Abu, and Ani, and you also got paid 600 each from emGuarde. All right, because it's indirect sales and still under 2A. So this chart to show you what you plant and what you get. You plant orange, you get orange, right? You will not get apple, right? So you plant 2A, you get 2A's. Anything down from the 2A, you get 2A point, which is 600. If you get plant the 300, all the way down is all 300, right? So it's what you plant, what you get, right? Okay, so after 10 unit, you can up ranks to the 3A. You get May, Cummings, and in the 11 unit, right? So that's how the direct and indirect, from your team. This is how team work, right? So not only the emGuarde, by the way, you still can sell like our other products, Kangen machine, Anaspa, and Yukon Sigma as well, right? So you get 900 for May because it's a 3A, 3 times 300. And this Ani start, you also get indirect sale commission from this Brian, Ben, and Bob, right? Then Bob also start selling and start sharing and get sales. You all the way down, you got 600 each from the downline, right? So just now I'm talking about 8 point, right? So when this machine 8 point is being given out, company will not give you any commission anymore, right? If he given you continuous without stop, company will bankrupt, right? So because emGuarde is already 49 years old, So with this patented, it actually save the energy, right? So of course, we only give maximum 8 points. But for Don itself, let's say count, John have a 1 point, 1A from Don, and Bob got 2, Annie got 2, Kim got 2, you got 1. This is a so-called 8 point or 8A commission. You still get 300. Same goes to Dave. You also get 300 because the 1A under John. Right now, John uprank to 2A because of Dan coming in. So Dan is 2A under John. So how much is supposed to be? Right? Right? You see, from here, just now I say we still got 300, thank God. But how about Dan? From here, you see 2 points from John. Bob 2 points, Annie 2 points, and Kim 2 points. You have 0 points, right? So this is how the 8 point is being given out. And from Dan itself, you got 0. So this is, we call it non-8A sales, right? So it's not count as a group sales. So from this chart itself, I try to illustrate to you, don't try to do the business with the deep and but leverage. You can start with the Tony. Imagine after 20 units from the group itself, if you don't want to get 0 commission from the downline, so you better do the sideline. So which is Tony, let's say Tony is your 4A after 21 unit, right? The 21 unit, you get 1,200. So imagine Tony get 10% coming in, you got 12,000, right? So same to the Simon, or Simon is a good one. Simon Law, 100 unit for 1,500 is about 150,000. 1.5 million. Wow. That's a lot. That's how it works. From, we try to leverage, go to the horizontal, the sideway. Right. So that's how the business plan, energy business plan, and the commission, the 8A, how it works. So the beauty for the energy is compared to other industry, I mean the direct selling, we don't have a keep stock. We do not need to keep stock. We don't have a member. Imagine just now you say you are stopped at the 6A and then you don't want to continue to work. And 2 years later, you come back, it's still in the 6A. So no demotion rank under energy, no keep stock, no inventory. That is the beauty for the energy, sir. Right? No target is yourself, right? And all right. So I hope you all guys get the value apart from the products and also from this business plan. So any question for the business plan, you might ask or type in the chat. So if you have, I would like to know how does the machine work by absorbing radiation. Oh, actually, okay. Machine, as I mentioned in before and after the chat, right, from the patent itself, right, it actually will analyze the frequency from the house emitted from the phone, iPad, and so on, the frequency. They will start analyze the 3 meg to 1 gigahertz. Within the range, they will send the reverse, signal to elevated this so-called electromagnetic frequency emitted from so-called electrical appliances from your house. That's how it works in reverse one. So imagine the frequency is come from positive, it come up with the negative and neutralizes. So you will feel better. And some person, they are feel so sensitive, they can feel it so quiet. The house will like in the jungle, when you enter into the jungle, that is a feel, right? Without the noise. Okay, other question, if this is just an emGuarde for group sale, the title bonus the same as machine group sale when this distributor is 6. Yeah. But he had to achieve more. That's why I say you have to leverage not only for emGuarde, but also the others our products. It will be the best, right? Because emGuarde, you see, you for Kangen machine, we 100 machine already achieved for 6.8. The rank up is quite fast compared to the emGuarde because of the value, the selling value is a bit lower. So that you need about 200 units in order to achieve the 6A rank, right? So that is a requirement.